Hey guys, it's your boy Easy and welcome back to Easy's Garage. It has been a while since I made my last video, and that's because I was actually traveling for the last 6 weeks. I did a roughly 8,500 kilometer motorcycle ride over 5 weeks, a little less than 5 weeks. And we started in Singapore, we rode all the way through Malaysia, and then we entered Thailand, southern Thailand, central Thailand, and then we made it all the way to the north near the Myanmar border. I was actually quite close to India. If Myanmar was open, if the borders of Myanmar were open, I probably could have ridden back from Thailand all the way back to India, because I was literally just about 700 kilometers from India at the Thailand-Myanmar border. It was quite a fun ride. I was with my motorcycle club, my brothers, and I had to change a bike. I was riding a Harley Davidson Lowrider ST, the fast journey, so it's quite a big engine. The roads in Malaysia and Thailand quite nice, so we were cruising quite fast, but safely, obviously. It was a great trip. I have some photos. If you guys want to check it out, I'll post a link to my Instagram below. Go ahead and check that out. But anyway, now I'm back, and I got a little bit more work to do on my motorcycle. Obviously, a lot more riding to do mainly, but a little bit more work. I'm going to start with the easy video. I actually bought a wireless charger for my phone that I'm going to install on my bike. This one's from Quadlock. Anyway, this is not a review. I'm just going to show you how to install it. But I've had Quadlock products for the last 5-6 years. I'm very impressed with them. I've never had an issue. The phone's always been secure in my Quadlock mount. It's never fallen off, even in heavy off-roading situations. So I recommend Quadlock, but again, there are many other products, many of the brands out there right now. I think Peak Design's one of them. Looks good. There are a few others, so again, choose what you want. But I'm going to show you how to install this. And before you watch this video, I highly recommend you watch my other video, which discusses the basics of wiring electrical accessories to your motorcycle and understanding your motorcycle's electrical systems. That's more of a classroom style video, but I highly recommend checking that out first, and then this will make a lot more sense as to some of the decisions I make when I'm installing this, like where I'm hooking it up to, where I'm connecting up, what fuses, how am I connecting to the fuse and stuff like that. All right, let's get started. So this is my current Quadlock setup. There's the mount. Underneath that is a vibration dampener, and that's just hooked up to my handlebar. And this is quite secure. I'll show you. This is what the phone case looks like. It's got this little groove here that locks into place. So I've been using this for like 5-6 years, and super secure. You just gotta twist it, and once it locks in place, it'll never fall off. Like, no matter how fast you're going, I've gone over 220 kilometers an hour on my Triumph, and I've gone off-roading, and it's never ever fallen off. It's very secure. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take out this mount, and I'm going to replace it with this wireless charger. And I'm going to leave the vibration dampener in place, so the wireless charger is going to sit on top of the vibration dampener. That way I don't have to use this USB port here. This USB port is actually very useful, and it's conveniently located. The only problem is when it rains, I can't charge. Whereas this is weatherproof, it's waterproof, so you'll be able to charge your phone even when it's raining. I find it quite convenient. Let's just do some mental planning as to how we're gonna install this. So obviously this is gonna be replacing this mount here on the handlebar. The wiring, to make it nice and clean and hidden away and also protected from the environment, it's best to route it under the tank. So that's why I've already removed my fuel tank. And chances are you're also gonna wanna remove your fuel tank if you wanna hide your wiring underneath it. I've got a video showing you how to remove and install the fuel tank. I'll put a link in the description, go check that out. And so this is gonna go here. The wiring, I'm gonna kind of zip tie it to the other wiring that's going from the handlebar. And I'm gonna zip tie it coming underneath the handlebar right here between the forks. And then underneath the tank on the left side, all the way on the side here. And it's gonna come out from under here. And the positive and negative are going to be hooked up somewhere here. I'll talk about where exactly I'm going to hook that up and how I'm going to protect this with a fuse and how I'm going to wire it safely. Obviously not going to connect it directly to the battery terminals, but that's how I'm going to write my wiring. If you notice, I think I talked about this in my previous video as well. All Himalayans have an accessory port here that's on the left side underneath the tank, so you're gonna have to remove the tank to access this. And this accessory port is meant for aftermarket accessories. It gets power only when the engine is running. And if you notice, I've already got a wire coming out of here, and this is actually the trigger wire for my fog lights, my aftermarket fog lights that I have right here. So my fog lights only get power when my engine is running, and that's how I intended it to be. Now, when installing this, it's always important to figure out the input power requirements. And I don't know if you can see it, but take my word for it. The input voltage requirement is 12 to 24 volts. So you can hook this up to any 12-volt battery, which is in your motorcycle directly, that's fine. And the input current requirement is 2 amps. So when this device is working properly, it'll draw a maximum of 2 amps. It should never draw more than that. So it's not a high amperage device. So technically I could connect it directly to this power output and get power directly from this accessory, because this currently it's only drawing 100 milliamps for the trigger wire for the fog lights, and add another 2 amps. So that's a little over 2 amps that it's drawing. And this accessory port is actually protected with a 10 amp fuse in the fuse box. So this, I could safely connect anything up to 10 amps, and I don't need a relay for this because this is again only 2 amps. So I could hook it up directly here, but then I'm going to have to tap into this wire and stuff, which I want to avoid doing. So I'm going to use something called a fuse tap adapter and connect it to this fuse box, and to get power only when the engine is running again. I'll show you what a fuse tap adapter is, but that's how I'm going to hook it up. So here we go. I've replaced the regular phone mount with this wireless charger phone mount. The wiring is coming from here, underneath, along with this, and I've cable tied it right here. It's going underneath this fuel tank bracket, and it's just resting here. Now, the negative I'm gonna hook up to the negative terminal for battery, and the positive, depending on where you want to get power from. I want to get power when the engine is running. So the easiest way for the Himalayan is to identify the accessories fuse. Fourth one from the bottom. You see 10 amp fuse? That only gets power when the engine is running. And that's also protecting this accessory connector here, as well as your USB port that comes stock with the bike. So that 10 amp fuse is protecting these two. If, however, I want to get power when as soon as I turn the ignition on, so even before the engine is running, there are a couple places I could do it. Identify horn 10 amps right here. It's this one right here. Horn gets power as soon as the ignition is on, so I could get power from here if I want my wireless charger to get power when the ignition is on. I could also hook up to the instrument fuse, instrument cluster, which is your dash. That also gets power when the ignition is on. Low high beam only gets power when the engine is running, so again that won't work if you want to get power when the ignition is on. And the other place is the pause lights, so those are your daytime running lights and all your indicators and stuff, so you could hook into that as well. So I'm going to do it in this 10 amp fuse when the engine is running, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use this fuse tap adapter. And again, I talk about this in my previous video. It basically allows you to create another parallel circuit in addition on top of this existing circuit. So this existing 10 amp circuit that's protecting my accessories, I'm going to create another parallel circuit from that using this fuse tap adapter. The 10 amps is going to protect my existing circuit, that's fine, nothing's changing there. But to protect my new circuit, which is for my wireless charger, I'm going to add another fuse to protect that circuit, the parallel circuit. And since we've already talked about that this charger uses at most 2 amps under normal conditions, so I'm going to protect this with a 3 amp fuse. And again, all this will make sense if you take a look at my previous video that explains how to safely create a parallel circuit and wire your accessories, and it also talks about fuse type adapters. So I've connected the negative wire of the wireless charger to the negative terminal, and the positive, I've connected it to the fuse type adapter. So this adapter came with this wire and this connector as well, and I put the positive end of the wireless charger right here, and I kind of pressed it in. I'm going to put some insulation tape on top as well, but this is pretty secure. And this is what the fuse type adapter looks like. So I've taken out the 10 amp fuse from the horn as well as the accessory port. So one gets power when the ignition is on, the other gets power when the engine is running. The 10 amp fuse is from the existing circuit, so this goes in here. And then the new circuit that's creating, you need to protect it. So my new circuit is for the wireless charger, so I'm going to protect it with a 3 amp fuse. So I put it here, and now this will go in to either of this depending on where I want to get power. So I'm going to demonstrate with the horn first. That means as soon as I turn on an ignition, my horn's going to get power with this 10 amp fuse, protected by this 10 amp fuse, and my wireless charger is also going to get power protected with this 3 amp fuse. Okay, so you can't see it, but I've put this fuse type adapter into the horn port. So this 10 amp fuse in the fuse type adapter is protecting the horn circuit. This 3 amp fuse is protecting my wireless charger circuit, and both of these should get power when the ignition is on. So let's test it out. So ignition on, and voila, my thing is getting power. Let's just make sure my phone also gets charged when I lock it in. So it's locked in and charging. Awesome. So my phone is getting charged, everything's working fine. So I'm going to turn off my ignition, and you should see that no more power. Perfect. So, but this is not what I want to do. I want to actually get power only when the engine is running. So I'm going to take this out from the horn circuit. I'm going to put my 10 amp fuse back into the horn circuit, and I'm going to instead put this fuse type adapter into my accessory circuit, which only gets power when the engine is running. I can't test it out now because the fuel tank's off. So I'm going to just relocate this to the accessory circuit, put my fuel tank back on, and then we'll go ahead and test it out and make sure that this gets power when the engine is running. I've got the fuel tank back on. Again, take a look at my fuel tank removal and installation video, link in the description. All hooked up. I've hooked up my wireless charger to the fuse type adapter to the accessories port, so it'll only get power, or it should only get power when the engine is running. So let's test that out. So ignition on, and you can see no power yet. My fog lights as well don't work because they only get power when the engine's running. Let's turn on the engine. There you go. My wireless charger is getting power. My fog lights are working as well. And just to make sure that it's charging. Turn it off, and power off. No more power. All right, successful installation. All right guys, so that was a pretty easy installation of a wireless charger. Hope you guys liked this video and hope you guys learned something new. Again, check out my previous video on how to wire aftermarket electrical accessories, and which goes into a little bit of detail on your motorcycle's electrical systems. So if you watch that first, a lot of this stuff that I did today will make a lot more sense, like why I put the fuse, where I put the fuse adapter, and all that kind of stuff. All right, next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing some extensive work. I'm going to be changing my steering stem bearings. I'm going to be doing a fork rebuild. I'm going to be changing my wheel bearings as well as my swing arm bearings. So those 4 videos are up next. Hopefully I should get them out soon, but keep a lookout. Also, I know a lot of you have left a lot of comments and questions on my previous videos. Sorry I haven't had the chance to answer them. I was kind of phone detox for a while I was on vacation, but now I'm back. I'll get back to answering your questions. Till next time, it's your boy Easy. Take care, guys.